Why do I cost 10 mana? Because I'm very expensive. All right, we're gonna mulligan for threats here. I think I'm just gonna throw all of these back, actually. So when you're playing Tempo Mage, you want to mulligan for your threats in your opener generally. You didn't find any there. Nothing to do on one. So for those of you that are asking, I just started playing Hearthstone very recently, about 2 weeks ago. I poked at it very little before that, and then I've really been enjoying it since I started playing it recently. I've been playing it a bunch on my tablet, and I had a couple of subs asked if I'd stream it recently. Oh, I need to put the Innkeeper. I need to swap the extensions really quick. The Innkeeper isn't up yet. Activate, replace. All right, Innkeeper should be loading shortly. Okay, so they put a trap up, a secret. I'm gonna go ahead and smack them.
Engaging TC-130.
Gross. So, explosive runes. It looks like they're playing Spell Hunter, which is actually a deck I've been playing a good bit of. Spell Hunter doesn't actually play any minions in it, which means this explosive runes isn't going to do anything here because they don't actually summon minions unless they get to Rexar. Do you know about the overlay that lets you mouse over cards in the battle board? Yeah, it should be up right now, Population 0. That's Innkeeper. Yeah, so Twitch right now only lets you have one extension up at a time. So I had to turn Stream Decker off so I could turn Innkeeper on. I'll play Lifedrinker here. Zap him. So there is not sideboarding in Hearthstone. Their ladder is best of one. And I mentioned that I'm not a huge fan of best of one games in general, but because Hearthstone removes resource variance from the game, I find best of one a lot less frustrating without resource variance involved. Does Innkeeper work on mobile? There should be an extension button underneath the stream that if you tap that, it should pop out the deck list. You can't mouse over cards on mobile, but you can see the deck list that I'm playing. And the deck list on the screen there, you'll see it updates as I draw cards. No, there's nothing like that for Magic Online. Otherwise, I'd be using it. I think this matchup's actually kind of bad for us. I usually win this matchup when I play it from the Spell Hunter side. So the deck that we're playing right now is one of the more aggressive decks in the format. And our draw this game was a little bit slow the way everything played out. So this is one of our better threats. Every time we cast a spell, it gains an attack. But this thing's pretty good too. It makes our spells cost one less. Nope, they all combine PC and mobile. So I play on my same account on the desktop as I play with on mobile. So the big thing that's different between Hearthstone and Magic, if you've never played Hearthstone before, is that your minions can attack other minions directly. So this makes the gameplay very interactive because effectively every unit you play out doubles as a piece of removal. Amani Berserker is great out in the pop-up because I've already drawn and played it. Another thing that's a little bit different in Hearthstone that takes a little bit of getting used to is that 30 is the maximum health, except for a few exceptions that sets your health total above that. Alright, so they played a secret here. So secrets are things that I don't know which secret they've played, and this triggers when certain conditions have been met. We're pretty dead here at this point, I think. Minions do not heal unless they have a card that tells them to heal. So I'm just going to be as aggressive as possible here. Just try and slam in. This is probably going to hit my guy for damage. Oh, geez, that's brutal. So this returns it to my hand and gives it plus attack, which resets its power, or gives it plus cost. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this game up. We're pretty unlikely to win at this point. Like, our deck's a deck that's trying to get under our opponents, so like their late game is much better than ours. So the fact that they're at 19 still means that we're not really gonna be able to burn them out of the game. Oh look, our quest for the day is actually play mage spells, so I'm glad we started with this one. So ladder is best of 1, and while this game isn't variance free, obviously it's a card game, your draw steps have variance. The fact that the matches are kind of quick makes the variance feel a lot less bad to me, in my opinion, because like losing a 5 or 10 minute game to a bad beat feels much less bad to me than losing like a 50-minute match to a bad beat. The drink, not the powder. This hand's very good. When you're on the draw in Hearthstone, not only do you get an extra card in your opening hand, but you also get this thing called the coin, which gives you an extra resource for a turn. So this hand's actually very, very good. We get to play Mana Wyrm on 1, and then on turn 2, oh, they're playing Quest Rogue. This matchup's pretty good for us. Quest Rogue is a deck that tries to go over the top of other mid-range and control decks, and our deck's an aggro deck. So the Kirin Tor Mage is another great tempo card in this deck. It costs 3, and it's a 4/3, and when you play it, your next secret that you put down costs you 0. So next turn, we're going to get to go Coin, Tor Mage, Explosive Runes, and just have power in play and have a way to keep their board in check. You should read this, yo cousin. I'm just going to suggest people read this instead of me repeating myself. So then the secret is also a spell, so it powers up my Wyrm, so my Wyrm gets to start beating down here.
I hope you like my invention.
So they played a minion out, which triggers my trap card. So this trap card deals damage up to 6 damage to the minion, and then it does all the overlapping damage to my opponent. So it killed their minion and dealt them 5 to the face. How much does Hearthstone take real money to get started? I built a budget version of this deck that I'm playing right now for the low price of the $5 intro pack that gives you 10 packs. And then I built the non-budget fully competitive version of Tempo Mage for less than $50. And at this point, I've put in about $400, and I have like 9 decks built right now. So lots of different things to play. We'll probably play Tempo Mage until I finish this quest for playing enough mage spells out, and then we'll try and play some Spiteful Druid.
Jaina versus Anduin.
Compared to it's a very reasonable price, especially coming from Magic. So we're on the play. We have a 2-drop here. Again, you want to be looking for either your Mana Wyrm or your 2-drops like Sorcerer's Apprentice or Arcanologist in your opener. Lifedrinker is good later, but I kind of want to mulligan it to find more aggressive cards here. Correct, Jackal Girl. So there are a set of cards called neutral cards that any class can play, and all the neutral cards are minion, but the things that differentiate decks between each other are the hero with their hero power, and then the heroes dictate which specific class-specific cards you can play.
It's time for a little blood.
I don't think there's any hybrid cards. So I believe the Priest deck is generally a more controlling deck. So one of the things you can do with this deck is our champion power deals 1 damage to something. So I could nug this for 1 to turn it into a 5/3 and smack them for 5. Or I could get the Explosive Rune Center. I think I want to get the Explosive Runes down because it's more resource efficient. And then next turn I can play my Primordial Glyph plus use my champion power potentially. That's a good note. I think that's probably correct, White Seal. You're supposed to mulligan missiles in this matchup. So Glyph uses the Discover mechanic, which it gives you a choice between 3 different cards that meet a condition. When your minion attacks your hero. Okay, I think I'd rather just have Arcane Missiles and be aggressive here. And then I'm going to go ahead and poke my minion here with this so I can attack for 5. Again, we're just trying to beat our opponent down here. And you can see, like, in addition to this 5-2, this does up to 3, this does 6, this is up to 5, this is up to 3. I've got a lot of reach in my hand. It's another fireball. Well, I think we're just going to start sending things upstairs, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and play. So Arcane Missiles is a card that, this is the type of card I feel like people cite when they talk about Hearthstone having too much variance. This deals 3 damage randomly assigned, but there's ways that you can control and mitigate the variance associated with this card. For instance, if I play it now, when my opponent has no board, I get to guaranteed send it all upstairs. So you get sequencing decisions that allow you to mitigate some of the variance associated with cards that have that kind of variance on them. They might just heal themselves here. So we really want to get a minion into play so we can get a consistent source of damage. Well, this card's just the stones. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. And they have to have a way to interact with our weapon to get rid of it. So drawing 3 cards a turn should put us in a good position to burn our opponent out of the game. Yep, TLDR, my thoughts on Hearthstone is here. I think I'm just gonna go double Tor Mage here. Hey, Pentachills, thanks for the 22-month resubscription, bud. Welcome back. That's a long time. How face mage is unfair. Maybe I should have played the Arcane Missile there just because my hand's getting pretty full. I could have also maybe saved one of these because I could have drawn something like Explosive Runes. Yes, you do. So in Hearthstone, you don't lose the game when you go to draw a card but can't. Instead, you what's the word I'm searching for? Instead, you take damage every time you go to draw a card but can't. We might actually come up short here.
Do you like to play with fire?
Yeah, they're gonna beat us down pretty quickly. So I think I'm gonna start with Arcane Missiles here and see what they do. I should have played the Wyrm out maybe. So they have 5, 6, they have 11 damage on board. So I probably need to turn some of my spells into keeping their board in check here. So probably want to kill this. And then I'm going to take this 4 and send it upstairs here, or this 6 and send it upstairs here. Cinderstorm's not bad. We also have a 10 hand size limit, right? So we have 9 cards in our hand right now. I think I should have pinged. Oh, I could have. Okay, yeah, we're just not beating that card. So this card is a 2/1 with Echo that restores 2 health. So again, we just didn't quite get enough tools to get under them before they set up their late game. Been enjoying the Hearthstone content you got me to play again. Thanks for the bit strain. I appreciate that. Welcome. Up and down, up and down. 12. Oh, because I wasn't thinking. You're right. I should have just pinged it. I was just trying to spend cards out of my hand and forgot about my champion power, hero power, whatever you want to call it. If you bat 500, you end up just staying right where you're at on the ladder. This curve is great. This draws a secret out of our deck, and then I'm gonna keep Aluneth here. It's not amazing if our opponent is also playing Tempo Mage, but if our opponent's playing Big Spell Control Mage, this card should bury them. Yes, so for at least the remainder of the month, seeing how it goes and how popular the YouTube content is and such, I'm going to be doing Hearthstone every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon after I'm done streaming Magic for the day. So I'm going to do 5 or 6 hours of Magic, and then I'll do 2 or 3 hours of Hearthstone to close the day out.
I hope you like my invention.
Oh, I could have cast Glyph. That's a good suggestion. I'll play Arcanologist here and grab a secret out of our deck. And then, okay, so this is interesting. I wonder if they're playing the control build. This isn't a card Tempo Mage generally plays.
The end is coming.
Okay, so they're definitely playing a control deck here. So I'm pretty glad that I kept the Aluneth in my opener. So this card sweeps the board at the start of their turn, so I don't want to commit any more units to the board. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and send it upstairs here. You think you're playing enough secrets to justify two? Yeah, I think so. I think Counterspell is pretty bad. The other secrets aren't very good. And like, you have 2 copies of Arcanologist as well, which draw your secrets out of your game. And also just like a 4/3 for 3 isn't terrible stats. So I feel like Hearthstone gets a really shitty rap among Magic players. I feel like Magic players have this very egotistical thing about them where like Hearthstone has to be bad because it's easier to learn. I actually think there's a lot of depth in this game and I've enjoyed playing it a lot. Like the amount of lines that you have when every unit that you have doubles as a piece of removal, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make in a game. Like here I chose to put down the Counterspell because my opponent's deck likely has sweepers in it. So hopefully we'll get to interact with one of those. I mean, that's just kind of like TCG play. That's just kind of like card game players in general, right? Like there's a bunch of Magic players that all they do is complain about Magic. So they're going to do this. This card's really annoying. Whenever they play a spell, they gain armor. And they played a spell, so my Counterspell is going to grab it, but they're still going to get 4 pieces of armor here. So I think this turn, I'm going to start by Cinderstorming. My opponent's deck is full of sweepers, so I really don't want to commit any more actual units to the board here. So this does 5 damage assigned randomly between my opponent's stuff. I get to go ahead and send this upstairs. And again, I'm just not committing any more units to the board because their deck is full of ways to just clear the board off. Yeah, armor is hit points that you can gain above your 30. Yep, so this is a sweeper. Yep, so it does 5 to all my stuff. They all die. So, like I said, Aluneth will hopefully just bury them. Like, now, having the Aluneth here where we get to, like, draw all these cards out of our deck puts the onus on my opponent to try and kill us before we draw burn to kill them. So, this way, where basically we get to just run our crap out into their sweepers, and they can't just, like, wait on us. They can't wait for... My mouth is not working. All right, so, Mana Wyrm. I do just want to start vomiting my hand onto the table. So I can go Sorcerer's Apprentice here into Tor Mage, which makes the runes free. And then I'm going to go ahead and play this Frostbolt out on this so it can't attack and kill any of my things.
You play with fire, child.
That's brutal. It deals 4 to my stuff. But again, like, this is a little bit brutal. But at the same time, because I have this Aluneth, I just get to keep slamming all of my stuff onto the board. And my opponent's eventually going to run out of gas, hopefully, here. I'm going to go ahead and Frostbolt this thing and finish it off so it can't kill my minions. So again, our goal is to, like, hopefully force them to have sweepers most turns.
We will shape this world.
And, like, eventually we're going to draw, like, our Fireballs and our Pyroblast and just burn them out of the game while they're interacting with our board. Yes, it does, Team Merca. So you can see the numbers are updating on the side there. That's as I draw the cards out of my deck, they're being drawn. It is insane. It doesn't seem insane. It is insane. It's very, very, very good. Actually, they're almost dead at this point now, right? Like, they're down to 14. They need their other minion that gives them armor. So this does a guaranteed 5 to them while they don't have any units in play. And then... I think I'm just gonna go ahead and send this upstairs. And then, so like I have a couple different choices here. I think I just want to play out this Arcanologist. The overlay is very awesome. Correct, yeah, if we run out of cards, or we could in fact, I'm I'm just gonna ping them here. I'm just gonna poke them for 1 rather than put out a unit that they can kill. Because, like, I have a Pyroblast in my deck, so, like, if we find the Pyroblast, they should hopefully die through anything here. Oh, Glyph had lethal on missiles and Frostbolt. That's a good suggestion. It's a pretty good suggestion. All right, so they got 6 armor here. So we still have them dead unless they have another spell here, because we have Lifedrinker plus. All right, they killed our weapon. Deal. But they're, yeah, buddy. 10U. And cards that cost 10 in a tempo deck like this are, like, in a Magic deck, the power level as you go up with curve isn't linear, because it gets exponentially harder to both have spells and hit your land drops when you're playing Magic. Whereas in Hearthstone, because you're guaranteed to get a resource every turn, the power level of cards is more steady, and you can play more expensive cards in these aggressive decks. Yeah, the tempo mage deck is sweet. I had the non-budget version of this deck built for $55. I bought the $5 intro pack, and then I bought I bought the $5 intro pack, and I bought a set of 50 classic packs, or 40 classic packs for $50. And I had this built plus some other things. We're on the draw. I think I'm gonna mulligan Frostbolt here. Again, I don't know if they're, yeah, rewarded with the Wyrm. We don't know if they're playing Control Mage or Tempo Mage. Play this one out, pass the turn. I don't know when to stop playing, right? It's very easy to just get into, all right, I'm just gonna play one more. All right, I'm just gonna play one more. This next one's the last one. All right, one more and then I'm done. All right, so we're gonna get super aggressive here because this likely means they're playing a tempo mirror. So this makes my spells cost 1 less. I use my coin to make my thing cheaper. I'm gonna play this Arcane Missile out, which is guaranteed 3 to the face. Then I'm gonna smash you with my Wyrm for 4. I did have a legendary in the 2-drop slot. I was just looking at what cards other people that were in Legend were playing in Mage, and they weren't playing that legendary anymore, so I stopped playing it. Basically, I just elected to defer to people who were smarter than me, and people that were playing more, people that play a bunch of Hearthstone stopped playing it, so I assumed they probably knew what was up. What's the value in the 1-of Firefly? So I believe the logic in the Firefly and the Berserker is that you just want more early threats. This is a tempo deck, so you want a lot of threats that you can find early. So like Firefly and Berserker just give us more threats in addition to Mana Wyrm and Sorcerer's Apprentice and Arcanologist that actually can kill your opponent. I am in fact a filthy net decker. You're not wrong. Tor Mage, huh? All right, well, double Tor Mage is pretty good here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Tor Mage out, and I'm going to slide Counterspell out here to protect my Mage. I guess they could poke their thing and then trade with my Mage, but I think they're pretty unlikely to do that. Maybe they're far enough behind. No, I'm playing 2 Wyrms. The deck list overlay updates as I draw cards. There's only 1 Wyrm left in my deck currently.
We have many secrets.
Okay, that's a Tor Mage of their own. And then I assume they're going to play a secret out here and it's going to get countered by my thing. So they know their secret's getting countered at this point. I think they're going to trade here. Yep. So my turn's pretty good here on the backswing too. I get to play Tor Mage, slide explosive runes out, and then I get to Frostbolt their threat. So they're up cards in hand, but I am ahead on health total and units on board. So I think I'm in an okay spot here. What are the deck building restrictions in Hearthstone? So it is a max 2 of any specific card, with the exclusion of legendaries. Legendary cards you can only have 1 of each copy of in your deck. All right, so I'm gonna blast your face. I'm gonna play this out, which gets me another runes. And like, I have this explosive runes in play, and I have this other one in my hand, and like, if my opponent can't get units on the board, they're not going to be able to catch up in the health total deficit that they have right now, so I think we're in a pretty good spot, especially with this Pyroblast as a draw here. So similar number of cards for both of us. All right, there's a non-zero chance this Wyrm just eats an explosive runes here, but I think it's worth the risk to play it out. Yep. So, like I said, I have to get threats into play to eventually win the game. We're slightly up ahead on the health total deficit right now, so they're gonna have to draw a bunch of fireballs, and we could run the risk of them drawing Pyroblast before us. There are class-specific cards, sure. Yeah, you're right. So there's different classes, and there's neutral cards that all the classes can play, and then there's cards that only specific classes can play. So this is gonna kill their thing and deal 3 to them. This gives them another secret, though. Okay, so they have both secrets here, so suddenly I think we're in a little bit of a bad spot, because this is probably gonna get countered by a counterspell here, and then this is probably gonna eat an explosive runes here. Yep. And then I'm gonna go ahead and poke them upstairs, so like now we're identical in cards and we're close in health total. No, I've not played any wild. I just started playing Hearthstone recently, so I only have cards for standard. Only have cards for standard currently. At this point, the first one to a threat should be pretty far ahead. That's insane. I guess we get to kill that. That's a 7 damage fireball though. And they draw a card when we kill this. That's an excellent draw.
Need a key?
Yep, I would love a counterspell at this point. So we want to try and not get burned out here. So this card discovers a secret and then immediately plays it, which is nice. We do have a lot of live draws, you're not wrong. So they're dead 2 turns from now, right? That's an awesome draw. Okay, so I think I just want to eat their mana Wyrm at this point, especially with this pickup. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot this down and trade my guy for it. And then Lifedrinker here is going to deal 3 and have us gain 3. And then they're dead next turn to a Pyroblast plus an attack. Okay, and then this is good sequencing on the opponent's part. They recognize that we probably had counterspell there. Yeah, you did. I got my Pyroblast already, opponent. Get him. Get him. This card is such a good one of. Blast you. Get him. I keep bouncing back and forth between rank 4 and rank 5. Like, I've gotten to like rank 4 stars a couple of times, and then I just end up losing a bunch after that. So hopefully I can break into rank 3 today. That's the 4 is the highest I've been. Correct, yeah, you can't get knocked back down to 6. Yeah, the fact that there's no resource variance and the fact that, you know, there's only 30 cards in your deck, you can generally have a pretty consistent game plan, especially with the way the partial mulligan system works. Okay, so Warlock, this hand is very good. We get to go Arcanologist into Kirin Tor Mage on the play. Warlock generally means more controlling decks. Q-Block can sometimes be aggressive, but a lot of the time they're on the more controlling side. There is a Warlock Zoo deck, but it's not terribly popular. I'd keep this hand against any opponent, though. It's just very good. We get to grab a secret out of our deck with this, and then slide it out on 3 with the Tor Mage. I bet we find a worthy opponent. Okay, second Tor Mage is a little bit medium. Hopefully we find another secret to slide out with her.
An incredible discovery.
Counterspell's a decent pickup against Cube. Zoo is, and I've still played against Zoo on the ladder. I didn't say Zoo was good. In fact, I specified it wasn't particularly popular, but people play decks that aren't popular. People play games to have fun. So. I think putting the counterspell out here is fine. Cinderstorm's a good pickup, and in fact I get to go Apprentice into Cinderstorm here. Sweet. And then go smash, smash. In a pretty good spot here. They're pretty low on health already. And like, if we survive to 10, we have our Pyroblast in hand already. So Counterspell is gonna stop the coin, which means they can't drop a 5-drop this turn. Hellfire's pretty good. Explosive Rune's a great pickup. I'm gonna start with Primordial Glyph here. I think I actually want to just put down Counterspell again here.
We have many secrets.
Because if they play the 5-mana 2/2 out this next turn, I don't want to kill it with Explosive Runes. To set the bar low, Matman, I think this game has less variance than Magic on average. We have another one. Gross. All right, we're in a bad spot now. That's good. That's one of our better draws. But they had, so they played a card that lets them sacrifice a minion to gain 8 health, and the minion that they sacrificed was a voodoo doll, which kills one of my minions when it dies. Yeah, they have a lot of ways to gain health. This card, at the start of their turn, they dump a demon out. So I assume that means they have a demon if they have that. We're going to deal a good shot of burst damage here, but we're probably still going to still be light of being able to kill them if they have a Void Lord next turn. They're only at 12 here. Yeah, this card's such a beating. It's a 3/9 with taunt, and taunt. No, Hearthstone, everybody starts at 30. Everybody starts at 30. Taunt means that my minions have to attack this, which is unfortunate. If I draw, that's another lifesteal. I need to draw like fireballs at this point to like burn them out. If they don't gain, oh, that's actually burn. That deals 3. That's why Lifedrinker is so good. It's a card that is reach, but it's also a unit that can attack. You have another demon to put into play. Gross. This thing has charge, right? Can attack right away. Yep. So they're at 13. So if I rip a fireball next turn, or like a Frostbolt, and they don't have a way to gain health, I could potentially steal this game with the Pyroblast. Another Lifedrinker would also do it. If they summon a small minion, it could also do it. Gross. That is not a small minion, that's a very large minion, so it survives that. We're not dead on board, so we got that going for us. Reach. Perfect. Perfect. All right, we need them to not gain health next turn. I think one of the things I love most about Hearthstone, the lack of discard spells, is so refreshing as a player. Like, knowing that this card in my hand isn't just gonna get gobbled away from me is so nice. So I need them to not gain health this turn. Why not shoot the 5 1-for-1? Because I want to kill them. Pew! Can we talk about how great Pyroblast is and how it's the best one of? And kill you. Opponent could have killed us with a cube. Okay. They would have had to sacrifice the cube too, though, right? They would have had to have a way to sacrifice the cube. If they had a way to sacrifice the cube, they're probably gaining health. Good in Legacy, good in Hearthstone. Just always constructed playable, right? Is Darkpack the one that gains them health, though?
Jaina versus
Pyroblast used to cost 8?
The forest fights
That's
back.
insane.
You asked for it.
I think Keysmith isn't good enough, especially since I want spells to power my mana Wyrm. It's a good one. Taunt only affects minion attacks, which is one of the reasons why this deck is good, because your spell damage can go to the face through taunt minions. Brecken Sky with the $40 donation. The final is graded. Jeff, the semester is over. Drop this on 2x Bant friends in the queue. That VOD got me through today. Teferi better. I do think he's better than Jace. At least in the context of modern, he's much better than Jace. Thank you very much for the donation. I'll get those added back in for sure. We did actually play that deck again this afternoon if you missed it. It'll be up on YouTube tonight after I'm done streaming. My issue with Hearthstone is that I can't play it at work without being too obvious.
What if?
Mana Wyrm on one in the play is just like our best start. There's nothing about it. Whoa, that's aggressive. So Naturalize destroys my minion and I get to draw 2 cards. Yes, deal. Well, I'm gonna play Arcanologist here. Grab a secret out of my deck. And then next turn we'll go Tor Mage into runes. He played Rampant Growth here. There's a few different Druid decks. Most of the Druid decks that exist are aiming to go long, so again, we want to get under them. That being said, we just drew our Aluneth, which is the one legendary card I'm playing in this deck. So this is a card that really helps us go long in games where our opponent tries to go long. Tar Creeper is going to get blasted by our secret here. So deal 5 there and 1 to them. We are just gonna bury them pretty deeply here. I'm just gonna Cinderstorm to send 5 to the face. Past the turn here, they're down to 16 already. So Cinderstorm deals 5 damage distributed randomly, but if my opponent doesn't have any minions, it's just 5 face damage. Swipe, deals 4. Probably gonna coin and kill this. But that's still like, so this lets them attack, but like, this still means they take 3 damage here, which is pretty good for us. So like, next turn I'm gonna go Arcanologist. If we draw a Tor Mage, that would be insane. It's not a Tor Mage, that's fine. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'll probably slide the secret out here. Yeah, so send upstairs, slide the secret out, pass. And then next turn, we could possibly just like burst damage them to death. Yeah, damage on minions lasts between turns. So damage on minions doesn't go away unless you have something that says it heals you. Hey, Keysmith with the $5 donation. Thanks, bud. 10 ball is love, 10 ball is life, or death, depending on what side you are on. What do they do? Deal 3 damage. All right, so we're definitely attacking. Are they dead? I just want to make sure I don't miss lethal. This is 5. This is 3. I should probably just guaranteed upstairs them with this, right? And I could hit something for lethal here, maybe? Choose a friendly minion. I'm actually going to take the meteor here, just because it might be able to blast through a taunt guy. That's gross. So I guess I'm glad I took this, right? Because I get to meteor through this now. That gave them armor. Cool, we picked up a 1-drop, so I'm gonna go ahead and blast this. Then I'm gonna send this upstairs. I'm gonna play this out. I'm gonna smack you. So they're down to 4 plus 5 is 9 now. We have 6 in hand. That's brutal. Okay, so this is their go over the top card. It draws them 5 cards, gives them 5 armor, and makes them a 5/5. Thankfully, I also have our go over the top card, which is an Aluneth here. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna play Firefly out here, I think. Maybe I should have just faced them with this, actually. Yeah, maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should just face them with this. Depending on what minion they lead with here, that's brutal. So that deals 2. So my secret, the fact that this has so much defense means my secret doesn't really get through it. If we hit Fireball here, they're dead. So this cost me 2, and then this cost me 2, so that would leave me with 5 altogether. That would leave me with 5 altogether, which means I could Fireball and this and this. So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna draw 2, and if we get a Fireball, they're dead. That's a Pyroblast. Okay, that's a good one. So I think with that draw, I actually want to clean their board out here a little bit, right? I'm gonna do this. There's 9 cards in my deck. Do I want to kill their board? Or do I want to just like face them in case they gain more armor? I probably just want to face them in case they go, oh, actually I should just do this, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
We will shape this world to our will.
So they know this is a counterspell now, so they're leading on their wild growth to play through the counterspell. They could have the card that gains them 6 armor twice. There's a card that it's draw a card, give your minions an attack or gain 6 armor, and they could do that twice. Yeah, this one, they're gonna gain 12 here. That's really unfortunate for us. Yeah, if they're smart, they're just gonna gain 12. Yeah, they're smart, unfortunately. Maybe I should have saved my guy that made spells cheaper from last turn. They're at 11. That's really unfortunate. There's only 3 cards. Are we gonna die next turn? Fuck, I think we're gonna die next turn. Oh, I should glyph? I probably should have glyphed, yeah. I think the Aluneth is gonna kill us, chat. Opponent played this game really well. The fact that they played around the counterspell like they did. I should have... Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're dead. Good game, opponent. That was close. The fact they had the branching paths there, too. All right. All right, our pretty staff. I don't remember. I'd have to look back at that game and see how many resources I had when I played the Aluneth. I might have been better off emptying my hand before playing the Aluneth because, like, obviously I died with a lot of cards in my hand there, right? Yeah, I think we maybe could have played through just the initial, but when they gained 7 more, I think we were very done. You can go play 1 or 2 more with Tempo Mage, and then we'll change to playing some Druid ourselves. I have I have a couple of Mage decks, a couple of Druid decks, a Rogue deck, and some Hunter decks built. Another Mage Mirror.
You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
I think all 3 of these cards are too slow on average in the Mage Mirror. I'm gonna assume they're on Tempo Mage. The draw 2s are pretty good if they're on Big Spell, but this hand's pretty good against either too. I do have Spiteful Druid. We will play that next, actually. That was the one I was thinking of playing. Is Spiteful Druid supposed to play Lich King? I didn't have a Lich King crafted for a while, but I built one the other night. Is Spiteful supposed to play that card? The Spiteful list I'm on. Ooh. What does Time Warp do? Does it show me what Time Warp does? Take an extra turn. Cute. I think I'm just gonna get my aggro going here. Can somebody link me what they think is an optimal spiteful list? I can update the one that I have. Spiteful Summoner is Spiteful Druid's namesake card. This is a combo that will one turn kill us. Sounds good.
I found it first.
So I'm gonna play the Apprentice out here and pass. That doesn't quite reveal all the text there. All right, so I'm gonna start on Wyrm and then play explosive runes and then smash them, I think. They have the armor. Oh geez, well, I'm glad I attacked with that one first, I guess. I really hate Grand Archivist. That card always kills me every time I play it. All right, well, I've got a good amount of aggression going here. They're at 17. They need to kill my Wyrm this turn, but they can probably kill the Wyrm, right? Taunter, sure. Huh. I think I'm gonna lead on this and see what it does. Oh, you know what? I should have, we didn't get punished. We kind of got punished. I should have Frostbolted first and then played that other one. Is what I should have done there. My sequencing there was bad. I should have bolted so the random one had less targets. So, I guess I'm gonna start on Glyph. Oh, because I'm dumb. Because I wasn't thinking about it. Again, the answer to the question is why didn't you do the thing that makes sense is because I'm an idiot. When in doubt, assume I'm an idiot. Yes, correct. Hero powering is strictly correct. That's the second time I've done that. I'm not used to clicking this button. Also, we talk about streaming being difficult. Streaming this game, because it's so much faster paced, and I could slow down. I could let myself go to the rope a little bit more often here, right? We do have lethal here though, since we had another magic missile. I didn't hero power, yeah. So there's a lot of things going on while I stream. I'm trying to read chat and I'm missing easy, obvious things. Yep. Yeah, definitely. I needed to take their taunt minion off the board, but it was obviously strictly correct to use the hero power as opposed to frostbolting there. Let's play one more with the mage and then we'll load up Spiteful Druid. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. This is our first weekday afternoon Hearthstone stream. I'm planning to do this every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. If you miss any of those, they'll go up on YouTube just like the rest of my stuff. Warrior. I believe the only pseudo-playable warrior decks right now are like control decks, right? So I definitely want to mulligan this. I'm not sure if I want to mulligan the Tor Mage or not. It's pretty bad without a secret in the opener, but I get 4 draws, including this mulligan before I have to. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the Tor Mage just because it's a good beater. Perfect. That's a secret for my little mage to put into play. Wyrm. All right, this is why, honestly, the draws you have with this deck where you have a 1-drop on one are so good. I wonder if it's possible if you just want 2 Fireflies in it. Oh, this is Taunt Warrior. Okay. What do they get with this quest? Sure.
Someday I'll be just like you.
I'm gonna wait on this missile because I might want to try and kill Trump the streamer, not the orange. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Kibler stream. I've watched a little bit of HS Dog stream in the evenings. So if my magic missile hits this for at least one, my Sorcerer's Apprentice will be able to finish it off. And I'm gonna get to go Kirin Tor Mage into Explosive Rune this here turn, so getting pretty well set up. Cinderstorm's decent too to follow as a follow-up clear. Okay, and the fact that all three of them went there means that my Firefly gets to finish this off, and then I get to send 3 upstairs, which is nice.
Secrets.
Thanks, Mindslaver. I'm new at this. I'm fully aware that I'm going to be worse at streaming this than Magic. I've been streaming Magic for a long time. Obviously, there's some overlapping skill, but... Give that. Alright, they're just hero powering up. Well, that's excellent. So we're definitely doing this. The other question now is, do I want to... I think I just want to hero power and save this for next turn, because, like, this can do 5 damage whenever. This I can use every turn. So I think I want to use this now. They're down to 15 here. Chain Gang's really annoying. I guess with the Cinderstorm, hopefully we do at least 2 to this, and then I can finish here. Well, now I'm just gonna do this, right? Is this lethal? Actually, yeah, they're just dead. So kill that, 5 face, 7 them. Yeah, nice. Run, you O-V-E-R. Got him. Look at that. All the way up to 3 stars. I think this is the highest I've been. Maybe I've gotten to 4, but I always like fall back down into 5 after that. I would like to reflect that I had 1 overkill there since I had my champion power still. All right, let's